Hi, I'm Amanda Ralph, a nurse practitioner and the owner and creator of White Coat Aesthetics here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, today I want to start by answering my most frequently asked question when I am out doing trainings and meeting with people who are trying to get into this field. And that question is, how do you get started as an aesthetic injector? How do you break into this field? I will say I typically like to separate this into two categories. The first is the way that I started, which was finding a med spa and getting hired directly without any experience. So typically nowadays, what you're going to be able to find is corporate med spas that are willing to do this. So a Laser Away, an Ideal Image, med spas that have multiple locations over multiple cities tend to be a little bit more interested in training this way. So they will hire a nurse typically who has no experience, maybe some experience in the hospital, but no aesthetic injecting experience, and they will train you themselves. So I got started at a Laser Away, which primarily in Vegas was lasers only to start. And I got brought on. I was trained in all of their laser modalities: laser hair removal, laser tattoo removal, body contouring devices, energy-based devices. And while I was hoping to become an injector, this was a very good starting point. And then while I was there, they brought on injectables, which allowed me to have a little bit of injectable training as well. I will say this is now, I would say, more rare of a way to get started in this industry because there are only so many corporate med spas. But this is one way and one avenue that if you can get hired on would be preferred because it's a little bit cheaper for you to be able to do that. One thing about that though, I know Ideal Image will hire people on and they have to do laser hair removal only for a certain amount of time before they train them on injectables. I know that this is a little frustrating when you are new, but at the same time, when you consider how much you'll be spending to train yourself with injectables, it is still preferred. So you may get hired on and only be allowed to work with lasers for quite a while before working anything injectables. But in my opinion, if you can get that job, that would be great. The other avenue, which I would say is probably more common nowadays, is to invest some money upfront yourself in some sort of training. I do think unless you know someone personally, it's very hard now to get hired on in a med spa with absolutely zero experience because it truly does cost a lot of money to invest in trainings. And more than that, it's just a lot of time. Like, it takes time for you to get better at some of these things. And I know that it is hard as an owner to be willing to invest that time in you as well. So most people I know have invested anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to start their aesthetic journey. The school I teach at NEMA is about $4,000 to $5,000, I believe, for the 2-day course. I know there's lots of training courses out there. You're gonna want to find something that has a good didactic portion and has a good hands-on portion. So you want to be able to get a lot of hands-on in this initial training period because you may be able to learn things online, but without the hands-on, you really don't know anything yet. And then I would say maybe even just investing in multiple different kinds of training just to be able to have it on your resume. It's not a bad idea to do some sort of shadowing or some sort of mentorship to get your feet wet in this industry and to fully understand what it is that you are going to be signing on to. From there, I would say you want to start looking for a job. So put all of your education and your training on a resume. I would do a very beautiful resume with a really nice cover letter. I would put a picture of yourself in your resume, and then I would start going around to med spas and attempting to put yourself out there. In Vegas, I know that Indeed is a popular website that med spas will use to advertise, but you can also go around to some of your favorite med spas, reach out to them on Instagram, however they are most present, and just kind of get your name out there and get yourself familiar with these med spas. It's not easy in the beginning, and I'll be totally honest with you, I do feel like it's getting somewhat more difficult right now, but still, no better time to start. Get some training under your belt, put yourself out there, and then from there, hopefully someone will take a chance on you. Usually once you get into a med spa or into a plastic surgeon's office or into the place that you're going to be working, you can then get trainings a little bit easier. So for my company, we have relationships with our reps from the various companies that we work with that will then help set up these trainings for my newer staff. And from there, you just continue to train and continue to train, continue until you get better. Because I continue to do trainings now, 6-7 years in, just because I like to improve. And I do think you should understand that going into it. One thing I like to say to newer injectors is that you cannot be picky. I don't want you to accept a job where you outright feel unsafe, like you know that they are doing things illegally. Do not work there. But if for the most part they are practicing somewhat safely, but it's not maybe the perfect fit, I would still try and work there. Do what you can, accept a lower pay in the beginning just because it is hard when you're new, and it is such an area of interest right now. A lot of nurses are trying to become injectors that unfortunately there's a lot of pool, right? So there's a larger amount of people that are interested in doing this. I always say to people, don't be picky in the beginning. Take the first job that comes, if as long as you feel safe with it, because even 6 months to a year of experience puts you at a higher higher ability than anyone else that hasn't been in this industry yet. And then just know you're going to continue to invest in yourself while you are training. I still pay for some trainings myself every year. Obviously that is budgeted with my business, but to me, if I'm not training, I'm not doing what I should be doing. So those are my suggestions on how to get into the industry. My last suggestion that I want to say is to get good with your reps. Every single rep you meet, become friends with them, create a good relationship. I want to make sure that you are networking. Networking can get you so far in this industry. If a rep has a relationship with you and they really trust in you and believe in you, they will invest in you. Some of my early reps are truly what I owe my success to. They saw me, they believed in me, and they provided me with further training that helped me become the injector that I am today. So network, get in with your reps, get good with the injectors around you, try and find the community in your area, and that will also help you go far. Okay, so that is typically what I recommend when I tell people how to get into this industry. But if you guys have any more specific questions, please leave them below. I'm always happy to answer.